Force members in the persons of Honorable Fabakary Tombong Jatta, Majority Leader and Chairman, Task Force, Honorable Abdoulaye Bojang, Speaker of the National Assembly, Mamadou Sabli, Secretary General and Minister of Presidential Affairs and Civil Service, and Secretary General of the ruling APRC party, Dudu C.M. Kebe and Buba M.E. Jatta. This committee will on Monday, the 20th of January, be going for a pre-Congress fact-finding countrywide consultative tour. In preparation for the Congress, the issue of finance was not left behind, with a committee headed by Fatou Lamin Faye, Minister of Basic and Secondary Education, with the support of the Honorable Minister of Tourism and Culture and other members. Minister Faye used the occasion to announce plans for a fundraising gala dinner dubbed APRC Peace and Love Gala Dinner to be held on February 14, 2014. She called on all APRC party militants to support the move. On behalf of the organizing committee members, Sehu Sanyang of Bakau thanked the task force and party leader for nominating them to serve the party. Now that the organizing committee of the upcoming 5th National Congress of the APRC party is inaugurated, they are expected to work under the task force to ensure a well-organized Congress for the party. Rohibite, Grts News.
The team and staff of the President's Alternative Treatment Program have been sharing their stories with Grts ahead of the grand celebration slated for tomorrow Friday at the President's Village in Kanilai. The 3-day ceremony is expected to draw a massive crowd in honor of what has been regarded as the single most important breakthrough in the history of herbal treatment. We hope to bring you that story later in the news bulletin. Banjul has been playing host to the 36th Technical Committee meeting of the West African Monetary Zone. The high-level conclave, as we hear in this report by Uminjai, came at a time when ECOWAS authorities are putting in place measures geared towards harmonizing the facilitation of goods and services across the West African Economic Bloc.
As a key partner in the quest for monetary integration in the West African Monetary Zone, as member states put in efforts to achieve impressive economic growth in the West African sub-region. The 36th Technical Committee meeting on the way in Banjul has the aim of mobilizing resources to improve efficiency in the tax system, as well as ensure a credible and sustainable monetary union in West Africa.
The economies of the WAMS countries are growing fast, some at double-digit rates. However, this rapid growth is due to activities in the extractive industries, which do not necessarily have strong backward linkage to the national economy.
Despite the developments registered by the West African Monetary Zone to ensure the realization of the set goals, key challenges hindering the economic growth and development of the Eurozone need to be addressed.
In spite of this, we are committed to delivering on our obligations spelled out by the WAMS agreements. We are currently pursuing fiscal consolidation measures to rein in fiscal deficits and public debt over the medium term and bring inflation back to single-digit levels after observing single-digit inflation for more than 2 years until January 2013.
The Permanent Secretary, Minister of Finance and Economic Affairs, Abdoulaye Jallow, underlined the important role the Technical Committee plays in providing valuable input in the decision-making process. He further stated that the global economic environment is rapidly changing as policy formulation and implementation also improved significantly. Global economic growth continues to be a growing concern as the West African Monetary Zone is mainly driven by the service and agricultural sectors.
Notable milestones have been achieved under the trade integration agenda despite the outstanding challenges, whilst the financial sector in the WAMS has remained safe and sound. The stability of the financial system has been anchored on the continuation of reforms to deepen financial markets, enhance compliance with Basel core principles, implementation of international financial reporting standards, and risk-based supervision, as well as strengthening collaboration among regulators in the zone.
This meeting is expected to single out the challenges and put in necessary measures to harmonize the facilitation of goods and services across the West African Economic Bloc. It also intends to make trade flexible with focus on the actualization of targets set by the Monetary Union. Uminjai, Grts.
The Kokulan Oyster Fisheries Co-Management Plan was the subject of a one-day national review meeting held at the Nana Conference Hall. Babukar Kamara has more on that exercise designed to enhance the performance of the grassroots women's organization which utilizes marine resources for sustainable development.
The co-management plan that we are to review here today has been supported by the USAID-funded Gambia-Senegal Sustainable Fisheries Project, locally called BANAFA.
It is the second annual review meeting of the Tri-Oyster Organization, focusing on its cockle and oyster fishing co-management plan.
We have been given the exclusive user rights to use the Tambi, which is a protected area. This is from Venture all the way to Cloro. So what we did was we had a co-management plan. So now every year we have to come and sit down and get our partners to see what has been done and what has not been done.
The approval of the co-management plan by government of the Gambia sadly 2 years ago is a clear manifestation of government's commitment to ensuring the sustainable management and development of the cockle and oyster fisheries, as well as enhancing the benefits of those involved in the market value chain. It is also a clear indication of government's willingness to empower community-based organizations in the management and development of these resources.
The co-management plan, reviewed annually with its respective stakeholders, has the aim of evaluating programs and activities of the organization in line with set provision for sustainable livelihood skills for its members. This has attracted a remarkable constituent of members from neighboring Casamance region to learn from their best practice. With an estimated membership of 500 people, Tri-Oyster is committed towards poverty reduction. The review meeting witnessed presentation of fishing boat engine by the Minister of Fisheries and Water Resources, Honorable Mas Aksigai.
And I believe they will make use of this very much.
The Banjul Council of Muslim Elders and the Mayor of Banjul, Abdullah Ba, Wednesday gathered at the Banjul City Council to talk about the alarming issue of space management in the old Joswang Cemetery. Uminjai picks up the rest of that story.
Of towns and villages, but now they can be found within built-up or residential areas, a phenomenon attributed to the huge and increasing demand for land. A case in point is the Muslim cemetery at Old Joswang. It was commissioned in 1980, but is now almost full to capacity. The question exercising the minds of the mayor of Banjul and elders of the capital city is where next. The nagging question is what prompted this meeting taking place at Town Hall in Banjul. Government usually allocates huge swathes of land for use as burial sites, but space management in the face of a population explosion, it seems, is the only way out. The mayor's statement set the stage for frank discussions that generated diverse opinions. Some even suggested that large graves that take up valuable space should be demolished. But anything that has to do with death and the dead can inflame emotions. This, however, gave rise to suggestions that the general public be consulted on what could be a highly emotive issue. One prominent individual who bought into the idea of demolishing large graves that take up space was the Imam Ratib of Banjul. Alhaji Cherno Aliu Maska also said all graves should exhumed and the remains of those buried there buried elsewhere, but was however quick to add that graves containing remains that have not fully decomposed should be left untouched. At the end of the day, the consensus was to sample the views of the general public with regards to what next step to take. Uminjai, GRTS.
Meantime, the mayor of Banjul, the Imam Ratib of Banjul, and the Muslim elders wish to inform the general public that structures are being continuously erected at the Joswang Muslim Cemetery. A press release from the Banjul City Council says the act of practices contradict the dictates and principles of both Sharia and the Sunnah. The office of the mayor, the Imam Ratib, and Muslim elders of Banjul wish to convey to the general public that with immediate effect, all sorts of erections at the Joswang Muslim Cemetery will no longer be permitted. The dispatch urges the general public to desist from this with immediate effect in compliance with our noble deen, Islam. Well, time now to take our first break. We'll be back with news from outside the Gambia.